Hey team, so we're going to do something a little bit different today. So I'm going to go through a nice upper body workout just to see how these videos go. I haven't really done many workout videos. So what today we're going to go through is chest, we're going to do a bit of back, we're going to do a bit of arms, and we're going to try and use as many different pieces of equipment so I can show things to look out for technique-wise, as well as techniques that you can do, especially being on your own in the gym, that you can do to make sure you're pushing the right intensity. So we don't want to be doing the same weights like every week. We want to be changing our rep range. We want to be pushing our intensity by doing as heavy as we can, as long as the form is good. And then we're going to go through things that you can do to push that stimulus. Make sure that you are always progressing, setting your next goal, as well as you've got your app to log your weight so you know what you did last time. And it's always good to try the next weight up and see how far you can go. So first thing we're going to do is dumbbell bench press. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do incline bench press. The reason why I do this is when you have a session and maybe you are short of time, you want to hit as many muscles as possible. The incline press, we're not just hitting our chest, we're hitting our shoulders, hitting our triceps on any bench. But the difference between flat and incline is that we're going to hit more shoulders. So again, we're getting those shoulders targeted as well. Going to be more front delt, but again, like I said, when you are short of time, maybe you're coming for 30 minutes, it's always good to come and do an exercise or a bunch of exercises that train a lot of muscles. So right here, we're going to incline the bench. We don't want to have just a little incline. So obviously it can adjust quite a lot, this one. So the first nodule, you can see we're on an incline. What we want to do is try and make the most of our incline. So whatever feels comfortable, but also as much incline as you can before it's like completely vertical and you're doing a shoulder press instead, okay? So we're going to do an incline bench. Just going to grab my weights. So you always want to do a warm-up set or a couple of warm-up sets depending on what weight is your working set. Whenever you're logging your weights as well, I always recommend to log your warm-up sets, but that isn't your working sets, okay? So let's say 3 sets of 10 is your goal. If I feel like I do this 10 now and rep 9 and 10 wasn't that tough, then what I'll do is I'll see that as a working warm-up set. Try a new weight, and then when I hit that stimulus of those last 2 reps being tough, then that could be my first working set. So my first set of 3 sets of 10, okay? So let's see how these look. So incline, we're gonna go up a bit higher than flat bench. So rather than nipple area, we're going about collarbone, elbows pointing down towards the ceiling. We're gonna drive, bringing those dumbbells together. We're gonna stretch the chest and use the muscle. Let's go through 10. Cool. Okay, so that wasn't too tough. So I could definitely go heavier on that and then use that as my working sets. But yeah, you get the idea. Just make sure that you are warming up well and then also keeping note of your warm-up sets and your working sets. They're completely different. Okay, so the best thing I like about workouts is where you don't have to do so much when it comes to prep. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna leave the bench at this incline and I'm gonna grab 2 more dumbbells and we're gonna do a dumbbell row. So we're gonna be on the bench, straight legs so we don't slide down. We're gonna hang our arms down and we're gonna row. So what I wanna make sure is that my shoulders stay down and my elbows point backwards, kind of like an arrow shape. So we're not tucked in, we're out like an arrow head, and making sure we're able to squeeze our upper back in this position. So we're getting a good stretch, not rounding, so keeping tight here and strong. We're gonna row, squeeze that upper back, and then stretch. So let's grab some weights for that one. I'm gonna go for a pair of 16s. Okay, so with this one, there's no elegant way of getting on. So what I like to do is dumbbells on, get my feet ready, and then do like a reverse worm. So I like to go crotch and then belly, and then you're in position. So first things first, shoulders down, back it into your back pocket, and then we're rowing. Elbows, get a good squeeze and stretch. Squeeze and stretch. Try not to lose that posture and try not to round over the bench. Stay nice and strong and squeeze that upper back on the top of that row. Getting a good stretching phase in the back and then a squeezing phase at the top. Again, another way to get out is just to slide down and then you're safe. So there is your chest exercise and back exercise. That also means that my biceps and triceps are nice and warm. Okay, so cable machine. The good thing about cable machines is that there's low risk of injury as long as you're doing the exercise right. As well as what I like about it is if you ever are struggling with a weight, it's quite easy to make it lighter. So that makes it really useful when it comes to drop sets. So we're gonna do a tricep exercise. So we've got the rope attachment. We're gonna put our first weight on. We're gonna do a tricep extension. So this is like the safest one, kind of like level 1 when it comes to difficulty. Let's go elbows tucked into the side, and we're gonna extend at the elbow, and then at the last minute, we're going to pull apart the rope like so, to make sure we hit the outside of the tricep. So we're gonna stretch the tricep, use it, and then last minute pull, okay? So we're making sure those elbows are locked in. We get a good stretch here without the elbows coming away. And then we're going to use the triceps, extend down towards the ceiling. The ceiling, down to the floor. So stretch the triceps, use the triceps. What you can do with the cable, with most of the exercises on here, which is really good, is let's say you hit failure and you've been stuck on this weight for ages. So let's say that weight you've been on for a couple of weeks. This is great, so you can put the heavier weight on, do as many as you can to the point where you can't do any more. You then can quickly lower the weight, which is what a drop set is, and then continue into another set to failure. So you're really trying to push that plateau that you've had at that current weight nice and safely because it's a quick change of the pin. Okay, so we're going to do a bicep exercise. Same as the tricep extension with the rope. We're going to attach a bar attachment and we're going to do the same. So elbows are tucked into the side, getting a good stretch of the bicep to start. And we're going to curl the bar up nice and high, so up to our chin. So get a good stretch. I see a lot of people, they don't fully lock out their arms, or they kind of just stop about halfway down. We need to have that stretching phase of the exercise, and then we need to make sure that we're doing this exercise with our biceps, okay? It is so easy with this exercise to use another muscle, so like your shoulders, like right there, I could use feel my shoulders doing that. So what you really need to do, and on all the exercises you need to do, is take the time to think about what muscles you're using. So I'm gonna get into my bicep, I'm gonna use my bicep because that's where I can contract them, and then here is where I can squeeze it even more. And then this is where I get to stretch it. So just like the tricep pull down, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a set, get to the point where I can't do any more. We're gonna drop the weight, and we're gonna finish off with a set of failure. So yeah, another reason why cables are good, because if you've been stuck on a machine, a weight for ages, then you can go through something called a drop set, where you've gone to a weight that you're usually used to, and what you've done is gone a bit heavier to try it out, and you can drop down. I would drop down probably like 2 plates when it comes to a drop set. So you're trying that new weight that you've never had a go at to see if you can do up to that 10 rep range or whatever rep range you're on. If you haven't hit that, then you place the equipment down, change the weights. I would definitely do a 2 plate jump and then continue your set there. All right, awesome. I hope you enjoyed the video. Went through a couple of things. What is it, 4 exercises we did? And that's enough if somebody has maybe half an hour available, maybe 45 minutes if you're looking at rest times, moving around and stuff like that. All you're gonna do is we're gonna do some floor work. So of course, we just done chest. It'd be good to see what we've got in the tank when it comes to press ups. It's always good to make sure that you are finishing that body part that you're training, making sure that you really are pushing the boundaries of what it can do. The only way that your muscle is going to grow is if you push it to a new level. So if you're doing the same weights, if you're doing the same distance on your runs, if you're doing the same speed on your runs or anything like that, then obviously your body is just going to adapt and be like, okay, cool, this is what our body wants to be doing. Like, that's the rate of adaptation. So we've obviously pushed ourselves when it comes to our muscles. What we're going to do now is going to just find exhaustion safely, and I think press-ups is quite an easy way. I've got my trusted mat. So press-ups, we're going to make sure our weight is over our hands. We're going to make sure our chest goes to the floor, and we're going to drive. Okay, so elbows go back. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to use a drop set term on here. So if you're very new to press-ups and you can only do 1, 2, or 3, you're going to do as many as you can on your toes. And our drop set with this is that we're going to bring our knees down and we're going to continue and try and hit failure here. So really making sure, we've really made sure that we trained everything in our chest as well as triceps and shoulders. If you want to hit different parts of your chest and shoulders, you can incline, so hands on an object like a bench, or you can decline where you put your feet on. So the press up can be used for so many things, especially when it comes to targeting different muscles and making sure that you've hit a good stimulus where your body's like, we need to grow some muscle there. So definitely press-ups are very useful, and a lot of people don't do them because they're like, I can't do a press-up, so I'm not doing press-ups. Everyone can do a press-up. Obviously, range of motion is key. So if you can't go chest to floor because you're stretching your chest and using your chest and all your muscles, then I would definitely adapt the exercise so you can. So you're either on your knees. Another good one a lot of people miss out on is obviously the knees, but one leg straight. So that has that little gap between going from your toes to your knees. But yeah, other than that, you could do pull-ups for your back exercises. You can do banded stuff when it comes to the biceps and triceps. But that is the end of my first video. I want to keep it short. I don't know really how long this video has been. I just want to see how it looks. And if you've liked this video, then obviously leave a like. That gives me an idea that you've watched it to this point. And yeah, hopefully see you in the next one.